This is BMW's flagship electric SUV, the iX 40 edition. There is a 50 edition. This one starts at €85,000. And if you wanted an M Sport trim, it'll cost you a little over £4 extra, bringing it up to €89,000. It's an awful lot of bread. It's an awful lot of electric SUV. If you go for the 40 version, you'll get a just over 70 kilowatt-hour battery, the usual part of it, with a range of BMW claim over 400 kilometers on a single charge. The 50 version of the car will do over 600 kilometers, again, so they say. There's certainly a few bits in the car that you have to get your head around compared to other BMWs. For example, the software platform that the iDrive is under is now quite different. And you can't pop the bonnet on this car. You have to be a BMW technician to do it. But if you want to get your washer fluid in, the badge now pops up. So the iX is big, but is it beautiful? Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if there was ever a case of that, again, we've got to discuss the grille on the front of a BMW. Now, this grille is actually made of some sort of fancy plastic, and it can repair itself if someone was to, I don't know why, key the front of it. There's a couple of reasons for this. There's loads of sensors and cameras built in here, and literally if you store the car in a certain type of temperature, room temperature, or apply a heat gun to it, you can repair any scratches or imperfections. There's also a heating element behind it, which if you've ever driven a car with front sensors on it or cameras, it might say that it's not available right now due to icy temperatures or just general weather. This grille can melt all of those imperfections away. There's a couple of air intakes here for aerodynamics, some grooves into the grille. Some people prefer the less fussy look of the non-M Sport models, just around the headlights and stuff. Personally, I think it's fine. Although, as I've said recently about some black, stealthy looking cars, if Darth Vader was the front grille of a car, it would have to be this. This M Sport version is sitting on 22-inch polished rims. They're mainly black, captures the blue badge so well. If you think of the proportions of it, it's kind of like an X5. Maybe not as tall, but it feels longer. And I parked it up beside a neighbour of mine who has an X5, and yeah, it just feels a bit bigger. Is the interior the same, however, or comparable? We'll get to that very, very soon. The side door handles have little grooves and ridges here for your keyless entry. You'll get red lights that pop up and different colour lights depending on what's going on with the car at any given time. It also stops traffic, as you may have seen in the background there. People just keep pulling up, having a look at it, asking questions about it. Charging the iX is on this side of the car. I like the way they have little levers to release the covers so water doesn't get in. You can charge the car at up to 150 kilowatts in the 40 version of it, and at almost 200 kilowatts in the 50 version of the iX. Not that we have too many of those types of chargers in Ireland. You're looking at Ionity basically, but it means with the right charger you can get to 80% in 31 minutes, or in about 10 minutes time you'll get 90 kilometers into the battery. If you're using the wall box at home, it's going to take quite a bit longer. In fact, on the 50 version, using a 7 kilowatt wall box, it's going to take almost a day. It's a long time. Now, the onboard charger is capable of 11 kilowatt charging. It's just not very practical to get that at home. There are €9,000 worth of optional extras on this car, including a glass roof that will frost over and stop the sunlight beaming in at you. I'll demonstrate that very soon. An electric tailgate, a 500 litre boot, the storage down here for cables, and little things like a handle to close that again. I like that, and there's actually a good bit of room down here. There's a couple of buttons here to eject your children into Timbuktu if you like. They automatically fold down, and then this parcel shelf is very, very small. It can fit in here. It can't fit in there, but it's not the biggest inconvenience. Because the main rear lights are up here, if you open the boot, BMW have had to put extra lights here, and someone replied to me on Twitter with a Renault that looks very, very familiar. But they are here to light up the rear of the car so nobody smacks into you on a dark lane or a dark road. However, with the red strips on the side. It looks really, really good. If you'd rather your kids weren't ejected from the car, well, you can control the child locks from the driver's control panel just on the side here. There's USB charging ports, 2 on the backs of both seats. The leg room is massive. You can really stretch out, you can fit your feet under the seat and you're always comfortable. There's little door latches here that you can attach tablets and coat hangers and stuff to just make life easier. The headroom is vast, aided by this glass panoramic sunroof. It doesn't open, but it floods light into the cabin, and if you can stretch to it, I'd imagine really, really worth it. You have your own independent climate control back here. Kind of surprised not to see heated seats, however. There is a centre armrest. The way the cup holders open, it's just lovely. You feel like you're in a luxury car at all times, and they've kind of designed it with the designers of the interior to make it feel like a lounge more than a car. And you know what? They've kind of achieved that. The structure of the car is made up of a huge amount of carbon fibre and aluminium, and as you look anywhere on the inside of the pillars, inside the doors of the car, you can just see the exposed carbon fibre. It looks really, really good. Now, to save weight on that aluminium body, it has reduced, maybe even removed, that familiar BMW clunk that you used to get. It's gone. It feels lighter and flimsier, no doubt to save weight. Even with some weight saving on it, the car is 2.5 tons, so it's pretty heavy. BMW also claim it's one of the most sustainable cars they've ever produced. Minimal amounts of cobalt used for the batteries. Bits retrieved of plastic from the ocean have made up parts of the carpet in the car. Lots of the dashboard also gives you hints that things have been made to be a bit more sustainable. The leather isn't vegan, but there's different types of oils used to treat it, olive oil and stuff that is better for the planet. There's also denim trim seats that you can get, but I don't see it myself. If, by the way, you forget to properly close that door, you'll get this kind of noise that just reminds you haven't quite done it. And should that electric unit fail, there are little levers down here that can open the door in the old-fashioned way. Frameless glass windows all around, so they'll just readjust as soon as you close the door. You have massive centre armrest down here, a hexagonal steering wheel. It's flat here and different angles going on. Something that you might have to get used to be fair. The interior, it's very well produced. The quality of the materials used, second to none. But it is quite minimal compared to BMWs of old. If you were to compare the interior of this to a 2021 X5, you'd notice the amount of leather and softer touches going on right away. It's not necessarily a bad thing as simple interiors go. I do like it, but it's going to take a bit of getting used to if you're familiar with BMWs of old. And when I say of old, I just mean last year. Talking about range for a second, they claim about 415, 420 kilometers out of a single charge at 100%. With about 10 degrees outside this morning, I had 350 kilometers from 100% battery. If you are programming the nav to a charging point, the car can condition the battery to the right temperature to give you a faster charge when you get there. And there's also heat pumps on board as standard, which use some of the excess energy from the battery and conditioning it to heat the cabin, so you don't waste all that extra energy. Although the iDrive is controlled by a wheel, as you would expect, and the shortcut buttons of media and nav and telephone are all still here, the software behind the system is new. Now, even to look at it, still looks quite similar, and the speed of it is fantastic. You can have your weather, your news, traffic conditions. You can time the car at what time you're going to depart at in the morning. You can delay the charging. You can set how much or how little you want the car to be charged if you don't want to go to 100% every single day. And you've got CarPlay and Android. To be honest with you, the menu is so extensive, you'd really need a degree in computers to figure it all out. There is just so much going on here, from exterior cameras, interior cameras. You need to sign up with a membership to have all that. There's digital keys. You can record in a dash cam style setting. There's assistance. There's just so much going on. Even for me, who's into all this stuff, it's actually overwhelming. There's a button here where you can manage your drivetrain and your chassis. There's a sound called Iconic Sounds that increases and decreases with speed. Just turn it off. Wireless charging is down here for your devices. There's still the traditional cup holders. It's a posh car. It needs posh water to demonstrate to you how big the door bins are for bottles. It's got a brilliant heads-up display that can also be integrated from your phone. So whatever you have on CarPlay with your nav or your Android, it'll be projected onto the head-up display. All these little things that are just, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. And the seats, for an M Sport, they're not massively bolstered on either side, but they are massaging and heated, just like the steering wheel. It's all just a very nice place to sit. I'm wearing driver-focused apparel gear today, by the way. If you want to check out their Instagram account and use the code NOBBY, you'll get 30% discount. So it's good quality stuff, sustainable, organic, good quality gear. They've got Porsches, Ferraris, whatever you're into, they're all there. Your start-stop button down here, you get this kind of what's going on noise. The steering wheel, the hexagonal steering wheel, drops down. Just a little nib here, puts it into drive mode, and that's it. Away you go. There's nothing else to do. It's incredibly silent, like really, really silent. Just the thing that I love is the glass panoramic roof. They've got a fancier name for it, but you just push the button and the outside world is just frosted away. And on a particularly sunny day, if the sun is annoying you, you just want some privacy, you can just press that and away you go. The 40 version of the car has got 326 brake horsepower. It's a 6 seconds to 60 time in the 40. There is a 60 performance version coming at some point this year. And then the 50 has got well over 500 brake horsepower and is an awful lot quicker. But I just think you'll find yourself saying it's enough. You've got permanent all-wheel drive from xDrive. You've got 2 independent drivetrains going on. There's tons and tons of grip. Is the steering as filled with feedback as a petrol performance BMW? You could potentially argue not, but what I will say is, for the weight of the car, and I've driven, the Tesla Model Y, which is very, very harsh. This is sitting on 22-inch alloy wheels, and it really isn't a problem. And for the weight of the car, it still has great handling. And I think you'd even let it away with the fact that maybe something like, a performance petrol will be a little bit more engaging to drive. This is still a fun car to be behind the wheel of, if you get me. There's so many sensors and cameras. If you try and open a door and there's a car coming up on your blind spot, it won't let you open the door and it'll beep. It is a big lump of a car, but parking is made easier by a really great, crystal clear camera system. Yes, it's a little bit grainier at night time, but during the day, it's very rare that I've seen something as sharp. And if it is going to be a car that you're going to use around town, I understand the size of it might be a concern, but it's so well behaved. It's really, really smooth if you are in villages and urban environments. And then when you get it onto a motorway, it's so brisk. The overtaking performance is really, really good. And that's when I come back to the whole, do you actually need the 50 version of it? You might want the longer range, that's fair enough, but in terms of performance, I think it's more than enough with 326. I have to say, I have never encountered a sound system like the Harman Kardon system that's in this car. It is incredible. It is like being in a nightclub. The bins, the bass off it, there's speakers hidden in the seats that you can feel vibrate through the car if you've got something really cranked up, and right up to the top of the volume, it is still crystal clear. There's no distortion. It is quite incredible what they've done with the sound system, and I'll never want to go back after experiencing this. It's really, really good. If you're thinking of upgrading it, just do it. It's very subtle at lower speeds. I don't even know if you can hear the Hans Zimmer inspired iconic sounds that's going on. You can just turn it off at the touch of a button and the car is just silent and comfortable, and probably what a lot of people are buying, it's not the factor, but it's one of the factors in an electric car. It's just so calm and relaxing, so why would you have noise going on in the background unless, I don't know. Leave a comment below, let me know why you would. Consumption. Now BMW claim just over 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Real world, 27 to 30. That's just what it is. If you don't like people looking at you in traffic, this is not the car for you, because certainly at the moment it garners a huge amount of attention. People taking photographs of it, other BMW drivers want to sit on your bottom on the M50 and other roads to prove that they can keep up with you. It's just such a striking, eye-catching car. Whether you love it or hate it, you can't miss it on the road, and certainly, yeah, you'll feel like there's eyes on you when you're in a bit of a goldfish bowl. Maybe that'll die down when you see more of these on the road. I don't know, but for the moment, you're sitting at the traffic lights kind of going, yeah, it's me, yeah. The car will assist in keeping up with traffic in front of you without you touching anything. It knows if you're coming up to a particular junction, it will warn you if it thinks you're not going to stop at a stop sign. You'll get a stop warning in the dashboard. You'll get frontal collision avoidance warnings. It's just, there's so many sensors going on, and generally I've found them not intrusive, just really, really helpful. And I think that's what you want from these things. You don't want them to take over the driving of the car, but certainly if you're not paying attention or something distracts you, they're there. There's a My Modes shortcut here. You click that and you can put it from personal, efficient and sport mode. Doesn't seem to be... So on sport mode you can change the drivetrain, the driving dynamics, the steering, even the seat support for sporty driving. And when you floor it, yeah, it takes off, and equally the nose dips down as soon as you ease off the throttle as well. Just, it's like, again, it really is, it's all the performance you need. It's more than quick enough. It's actually a lot of fun. As soon as you get a gap in traffic, it just takes off. Obviously depending on your right foot. Here's a set of lights now, and the car in front slowing down. The car's doing the braking for me. It just makes it all a bit easier to live with. If you do floor it though, in sport mode, you are properly pushed into the back. It's not quite ludicrous mode in a Tesla, but again, real world, what can you do anyway? Interestingly, switching to efficient mode for optimized consumption doesn't have any effect on the range from when I was in sport mode. And that power really very, very quickly turns into, where's the brakes? Because it's just such a burst of power, and there's so much grip, and you're so confident doing it. It perhaps would give certain drivers a little bit of overconfidence into a roundabout. Like, it still handles like an M Sport. It still has a lovely balance to it, and there are plenty of times when you could absolutely have fun behind the wheel of an electric car that weighs over 2.5 tons. Hitting the motorway then in the iX, you'll notice straight away there's a little bit of wind noise over your pillars, but it's still very comfortable, so smooth. The car could just easily keep up with the traffic, and you'll forget your worries, and in some ways you kind of forget you're even driving a car because it's keeping an eye on so much for you. Or someone just pulls out in front of me and there's not enough of a gap. It's okay, the car is covered. Even at motorway speeds though, the consumption In daily use is relatively high, but in motorways you don't actually notice an increase at a sustained 100, 110 kilometers an hour. I'm not saying if you don't up that to beyond silly speeds, of course it will use your range quicker, but for such a big car, I can only assume the goal was to create something that's not an X5, not an M5, a different kind of car. And if you've had several BMWs, I'm not saying you're going to get into this and think it's just exactly the same, but it is evolution. And where they've swapped fancier interior textures, they've replaced them with more sustainable, recyclable, weird speaker cover feeling textures, and even this leather, it's different, but it's not of poor quality. So you will feel like BMW is going in a slightly different direction compared to what you're used to, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. There's so much space in it, it's so comfortable, it just takes the bumps in a motorway here and just irons them out, and you just feel like you're behind something really luxurious, really capable, quick if you want it to be, and something that just does the job kind of in its sleep. And that's pretty much what they've managed to achieve with the iX. Just one more real world bit on the energy consumption. So since I charged it, I've done 60 kilometers. The kilowatt hour per 100 kilometer usage is 28.6 kilowatt hours. And of the 60 kilometers I've done, I now have 230 kilometers in the range. And that's been a mix of motorway, hills, cross country. So that range of 400, it is on a very, very good day, if a day at all. The BMW iX, it's another one of those cars that I often say I'd happily live with for an awful long time, and it is true. It's not anywhere near as easy on energy as BMW claim, and if you use that power in the car, it really will deplete quite quickly. However, at motorway speeds, I did find that it actually was fairly consistent. A lot of EVs, you put the boot down at 100, 120 kilometers an hour, and it's a noticeable decrease in range, but not so much in the iX. It is expensive, €85,000 for a starting point and just under 90 for the M Sport. It's not cheap motoring, but if you look at some of the other offerings from Tesla and Volkswagen, the ID.4 GTX that we had on the channel a little while ago, this is still a significant jump above those. But for the entire package, to have a BMW badge in the front, that also lets you put the washer fluid in, to maybe get out of an X5 that costs a lot more, or a little bit more, and certainly would cost a lot more to run, would have you thinking. Thanks for watching.